Yo, Brian and Jim here from DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we're looking at the Simpsons Road Rage, specifically for the Xbox.
Alright, this game came out on a lot of systems, had a lot of different developers. So on the GameCube, it came out by Radical Entertainment. On the PS2 and Xbox, it was by Fox Interactive. And for the Game Boy Advance, it came out by Altron. Who the hell they are? I don't know. Like a lot of other games from the time, it was published by EA, so I guess by this point they took over the licensing from Acclaim. Good.
Okay, so as far as the graphics go, this actually came out a year ahead of the Simpsons skateboarding. And it's not bad. It's not great, but it's definitely not bad. It's a vehicular combat game, or just a race against the clock game. It pulls a lot of inspiration off the Crazy Taxi series. You do have a bunch of different backgrounds, and to be honest, this is the very first 3D Springfield or a 3D Springfield environment you're going to have. Obviously, each level is capped off, so you can't explore all of Springfield, but depending on what district or area you're in, you're going to see all your favorite spots from the show. So we ended up giving it 6s, which is slightly above average. I'm going to add a beer just because whoever said drinking and driving isn't safe. Pussies, that's who.
God damn it, now we have to make a PSA! Oh great, the lawyer's here. Alright. In no way does Drink a Beer and Play a Game condone the use of drinking and driving. Drinking and driving is highly irresponsible and can lead to many homicides and deaths in the world today. Doing so can end your life and do anything. Shut up, I have to read this! So please don't go out there and drink and drive. Anyway, so, the sound. Well, I hope you like the sound of generic cars going, generic engine sounds, because you're going to hear a lot of that. That's pretty damn loud, and the music is very quiet. Not saying the music's anything special. It's actually pretty generic. It's slightly orchestral, slightly, I'm not going to say rockish. It's like bland video game driving music. It's really hard to describe. There's a lot of voiceover work in the game. The voiceover work's done well, like most of these games at the time. It's all done by the actual voice actors. That's always a good thing. It's not bad. It's not great. We gave it 5s. I'm going to throw in 2 beers because I like to have some actual music with my gaming.
Alright, so let's look at the control. Well, it's a really responsive driving game.
What?
Yeah, this is a weird one for me. I don't have anything real negative to say about the control. It's fine. There is a weird slipperiness, which maybe that's to kind of accentuate the cartooniness of the game, but you kind of slip and slide all over, especially when you use the handbrake. So it doesn't try and be a realistic driving simulator, but at the same time, it doesn't go for a full-on arcade-ish. It's a weird mix in between. We didn't mind it. Me and Jim actually thought it was fine. But there's something we just can't quite put our finger on that we couldn't give it above 7s. Oh well. What better way to help out your control and driving a vehicle than adding 2 more beers?
God damn it, not again! Alright, the gameplay. Have you played Crazy Taxi before? This seems to be a weird recurring theme with the games of this time, the early 2000s, where all the big budget and big name Simpsons titles were kind of, well, let's just call it shameless rip-offs of other games at the time. Hit and Run was a Grand Theft Auto clone. Skateboarding was a Tony Hawk clone. This is a Crazy Taxi clone. But unlike the other two, this one seems to pull it off better than those two did. It's a really fun game. It's Crazy Taxi in the Simpsons universe. There's a lot of characters. It might not have the most varied level design in the world. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing over and over again. But it's fine. It's fun. Sometimes you're just trying to do stuff in a certain amount of time. Sometimes you're going against the computer. And really the 2-player mode is where it's really, really fun. And going against a buddy, like, you know, trying to do the whole picking up and dropping off mechanic with them, it leads to some really intense and sometimes frustrating gameplay. And even if you get bored of the single player, the multiplayer will keep you coming back for more. Brian gave it an 8, and I gave it a 7. We're going to give it one of those celebratory beers, and not an O'Doul's or anything like that. We'll give it a full-bodied beer because, hell, you're going to have some fun with this with a buddy. Might as well get drunk. And not drive, goddammit!
So one thing I want to say before talking about the originality is Jim seemed to have forgotten something. The real reason he gave it a 7 and not an 8. Watch this clip. This is me versus Jim.
No.
Yep.
No, this never happened.
They're going to say it. So, admittedly, I am a jackass. In the 2-player mode, you both got to go for the same fare, pick them up, and drop them off at a point. And whoever hits the person, if you hit the opposite person, you get the fare, and it's just a real bad tug of war. I was a jackass, and I always looked at the wrong way to go. So Jim was up on me by 7 fares. Well, take a guess who won in the end. Actually, I'm going to show you the end right here. Look at this. Yep, that's right. Huge. They don't call me Brian Come From Behind Quinn for nothing. So anyway, moving on to the originality. Just like most of these games are copies, we couldn't give it much points. It added the Simpsons flair, and like Jim said, there's a shit ton of different characters you can be, and they all play completely differently. Okay, I'm lying. Not completely differently, because they're all just cars. Some are fast, some turn better, yada, 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 yada. But anyway, here's our scores. We gave it 3s. There's nothing original here. It's just good old-fashioned fun. Let's add one more beer. Because what else are you going to put in your cup holder while you're driving your car?
No! No! Alright, the replayability. There's some here. There's a lot of unlockables in the game. There's a lot of characters you can unlock. There's different vehicles that go with each character, so that's fine. It gives you a lot to go for. You mainly do it through the missions, but where we got it the most of ours, again, was the multiplayer. We could play this shit for hours. We both gave it 6s. It's fun. You're going to have fun. Mainly just the single player, it lacks a little bit. The multiplayer is where it's at. You'll keep going back to it. And let's add another beer just for the fact that you will actually want to replay it, which is rare.
Overall, me and Jim had a shit ton of fun playing this game. We don't have anything overtly negative to say, other than what you've already heard from us. This is one we actually will pick up and play again. There hasn't been a game like this pretty much since Simpsons Arcade where we enjoyed it this much. I don't know what to say. Some people hate the fact that it's a clone ripoff, and we can deal with ripoffs if they're done well, and this is just an example of it. Sure, it gets tiresome, and you hear the same things over and over, but like Jim said, if you're playing with a buddy and especially drinking some beers, you're going to have a blast. We gave it 7s, noting that, hey, it might not be the most replayable, it might not be the most original, but it's just fun. With the number of beers you have, this is more than enough. I'm not going to add any more, and in all seriousness, you don't need to drink and drive. And as far as beer pairings go, we're going to go with a beer that not many people actually like, or at least beer enthusiasts. We're going with some Leinenkugel Sunset Wheat. Some people hate it because it falls under the fruit beer categories, or because when you order at a bar, you get an orange slice in it. Either way, we really like that beer. It's just got a lot of flavor, you can drink a shit ton of them in a row, and it gets you drunk. What more can you ask for from a beer? Similar to this game, not everyone loves it, we enjoyed the shit out of it. So pair these two together, and you're going to have one hell of a fun night. As always, guys, thanks for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up or click subscribe. Come back tomorrow for another Simpsons game review.